everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Tea Cents. Happy Monday. I have a new picture. I don't know if I like it, but welcome. Welcome to Facts and Tea Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Polo Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia. Someone reminded me that I keep leaving out Mama Mia. So there you go. Mama Mia is part of the family. And all of us here at Sussex Squad, welcome, guys. Again, happy Monday. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. Hope you had a great weekend. Whatever you did over the weekend, I hope it was fun. But anyways, welcome. I see a few of my friends in the chat. I know this is one of my late minute trying to get this podcast together. I don't know. Today is just one of those days. I think that's why I probably hate Mondays. I hate Mondays and I hate mornings. So neither one was working with me today. So but I am happy to see my friends here. Oh, hi. I see Connie Balmer is here and Annie is here. Oh, Robert is hanging out with us, joining us from Rome. Hello, Robert. Ooh, thank you for my cranberry Martinelli spritz. I appreciate. Enjoy for me. Who else is here? Lydia is here, our awesome moderator Lydia. I'm like, I know I saw Lydia when I popped on. And hello. Let's see who else is here. Joan is here, and Emma Day and Dolores. I see myself in the chat, and Gwendolyn, and awesome moderator Karen M is here. Hi, Karen. And Catalina Hamlet. Oh, I love that name, Catalina. Wow, I love it. It's like, is there a couple of names here that I feel like it's like a television or movie character name, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Awesome moderator Nelly, Church Nelly is here. Hello, Church Nelly, and all our wonderful squaddies from South Carolina. Hello, my loves. How are you all doing? Black Queen is here. Hi, Black Queen. Connie, I got you already. And Kenita is here, and R. Carter is here. Hello, and Marjorie is here. And let's see who else is here. Oh, Mad World is here, and Barbara is here. Hello, my friends. Oh, wow. All of our faves are all here, and 116 of our other faves who may not necessarily be in the chat are here. Compton Caligal, I see you there. How are you doing? And Val is here. Hi, Val Rich. How are you? Let's see. See, this is the other name, Victoria Fabre. This is the other name I always think of as a movie character, a television character. Patricia is here. Hello, guys. And all our other friends who I'll, get to. Oh, Ray Raquel is here saying hello to everybody. Hi, Ray Raquel. Oh, thank you, Connie Balmer. I'm just starting and Connie is giving already. Thank you, Connie Balmer, for your super sticker. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. Well, again, happy Monday. Happy Monday, my friends. I haven't been on here in a few days. So weekends, I try to do something creative, like, really my passion in life is photography or filmmaking, so I'll be probably doing one of those things on weekends. So I tend to like to mix things up a little bit and do something different on the weekends. So but our faves are, well, they're quiet, but maybe kind of quiet, not really, but other things are happening around. Wednesday is The Crown is coming out, and so of course Shutter Island has been their usual whining selves. They always claim that people are whining, but then they are the most whiny bunch of people I've ever come across. They're always whining about something, and it's always they're the victims of that whatever it is they're whining about. So lately, obviously, it's been The Crown, and then Harry's book, and then the documentary. I mean, it's going to be constant whining until January 10th, I assume. So, but anyways, there are other things happening in the world apart from their mess. So which is fantastic, but we'll get to all of that stuff later. I know. Let's see. Huh. Oh, Sylvia says, I just bought a Powerball ticket, family. Sylvia, if you win the millions, can I hook you up or hit you up for a million? That'll be chump change. I think it's what, I don't know, something billion now. I don't normally buy lottery tickets, but on Saturday I was like, wow, maybe if I win $1 billion, I will just, I don't know, buy a van, convert a van, and do van life, and then travel around the country in a van and just see the country. And then maybe I'll just take the van to Europe and see I had all my fantasies, but lo and behold, I did not win. So there you go. My one day fantasy went out the window. But anyways, oh, wait, Church Nelly, when was your birthday? Church Nelly looked like you enjoyed your birthday. So tell us what you did, Church Nelly, for your B-Day. Tell us. Anyways, so I am obviously eavesdropping on kids indoors to her post. But anyways, our faves are, I'm telling you, can I just tell you how proud I am of Prince Harry? Prince Harry this man is amazing, apart from obviously, Invictus Games, and we'll get to Invictus in a second. But Travalyst has been, and I know the last few months or a couple of months, I've been doing a bunch of different posts about Travalyst and about all the people talking about Travalyst, and and the great thing that they're doing, and the other companies that they're bringing on. And so today this popped up and I was like, you go Travalyst. It is awesome. It says Travel Weekly. It says Travelport joins Prince Harry's Sustainable Travel Coalition. And Travelport has become the second GDS to support Prince Harry's Travalyst Sustainable Coalition. The travel technology firm pledged to build capabilities in the Travelport platform to help travel management companies and travel agencies accelerate sustainable travel by providing tools to effectively sell the most eco-friendly offers and report on sustainability. The initiative will be helped by implementing Travalyst data methodology. Travelport joined Travalyst founding partners Booking.com, TravelScanner, Trip.com, TripAdvisor, and Visa, as well as recently joined partners such as Amadeus to collaborate on resolving the industry's greatest challenges in sustainable travel. So their partnerships are growing. Travalyst is doing great. Their pilot program isn't successful, so now they're bringing on new people to work with them, and it's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. And I always think of, when Oprah and Harry they were promoting the Me You Can See, and Oprah talked about how prepared and how on point Harry is with, especially like he would be the first one, like he had all his notes and he would be the first one in the meetings. He would get on the Zoom before she even got there and he had all his notes completely prepared. And I mean, and Meghan, I think it was in either the Variety or the Cut interview that talks about how he's on like a 24-hour clock where he's just nonstop. And so I am so proud of him and the work that he is doing. And not only that, Travalyst, as just before I came on, Travalyst has a new website. It is fantastic. It is so cool, you guys. I'm going to put a link in the show notes when this is done. This was a little too last minute to get on to doing all of that, so I'll do it at the end. But Travalyst has a brand new website, and of course Prince Harry is right there at the helm of it. Says at Travalyst, we are bringing travelers, communities, and the travel industry to the table to change the way we see and share the world. The joy of learning that comes from experiencing a new place and culture is unparalleled, but it must also be a force for good for the communities and the destinations we visit. with our global coalition partners, we're united behind the belief that the world friendly tourism is the way forward. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. And I am like, I'm so proud of Prince Harry. I am so proud, and it always is like it. I'm always. I don't think it'll ever not amaze me how different like the rest of the world sees Harry and what he's done and all that he has accomplished and what he is doing, how differently they see him from how they see him in Shutter Island. It's like they have just yet to grasp who this man is. And I would want to think that when Spare comes out, they'll get a sense of who he is. But I think they're so locked in to what the palace has fed them and what the press has fed them. I don't know that they will even then they would get it. They would be so I think they would be so caught up in trying to, oh no, he's wrong. That's not the truth. The palace, and all the ways they could defend their nastiness, that they wouldn't pay attention. And so I'm like, I it boggles my mind how they have not seen or they just can't grasp who this man is. And so, but the good thing is that is just a tiny little island at this moment. It's a tiny island that is not at the forefront of anything worldwide, and the rest of the world could see this man for who he is. And I'm so glad that Meghan saw him and he met Meghan, that she saw his potential and she was able to, and she believed in him and got him out of that mess so that he can develop as a person and really shine. I mean, it is amazing to have Invictus, to have Travalyst, to have Better Up, Sente Bale. It's amazing, and then you look at the others and you're like, you don't even have Earth Sharpness. And that's all you got. And it's just like, but I absolutely I am floored. I am just so proud of Prince Harry. So again, I'll put the link in the show notes. And for me, just seeing the work that he is doing and the work that Meghan they're doing, and it's just so clear that they are building a legacy away from anything with, because right now it's all about, oh, they're going to take away Harry and Meghan's title. Oh, they're going to lose their title. Oh, they're not going to give Archie and Lily titles. And there are people all, especially on the other side of the pond, are all about titles and taking away titles. And, oh, is there going to be an olive branch? Or is this book going to be the final nail in the proverbial nail in the coffin for like the millionth time, And to see that that's what they're focused on, but seeing Harry and Meghan, they are focused on building their own legacy that has nothing to do with any royal anything, whether it's and all the things that Archewell is doing, it is just so fantastic to see just them build their own thing and they're really building their own lives. And I am so proud of the two of them and what they are doing. So, and obviously tomorrow is Archetypes Tuesday, so I hope you guys are all excited. Get your the earbuds and all of that stuff all ready for for Archetypes Tuesday. So I am so excited. I have no idea what they'll be talking about. No idea. I didn't even do my poll thing. Maybe I'll do a poll at the end. At the end, I'll put something in our community page and see if we can guess what exactly they're going to be talking about. But I have no idea what they're going to be talking about. And so, we'll be surprised. And so whatever it is, I'm sure it would be fantastic. But again, tomorrow is Archetypes Tuesday. And, one thing that we could be doing is, and I hope, everyone has been doing it, is that we've been voting for the People's Choice Award again. Meghan's nominated for the podcast of 2022. So, I don't know if there are any other places that podcasts are, nominated for things. I don't know. I'd never paid attention before. I was like, oh, I didn't know a podcast was a part of this stuff. So again, I tend to not pay attention to award things. But please go ahead and vote. It's again going to be in, it's, since we've been talking about it, it's been in every the show notes of every episode. So please go ahead and vote for it. I'm going to put the link there again. So if you weren't able to do it before, that you'll have an opportunity to do it now. You can vote up to 25 times a day. And they're not joking. Literally, you can vote 25 times a day. And you can also, if you're on Twitter, which is a mess at the moment with all the messes going on Twitter, I'm about like, oh, I don't know whether I want to stay on this platform, but at the moment I'm still there. So you can do, they're just specific. There's a specific quote that you can tweet, and that also counts as a vote. So you can do both, however you want to do it. But let's get our girl to win this award. This will be fun. This will be really, really fun. And if you guys notice, I'm trying to do some little different things with my with my little things here, with my clippings here, and I figured out a way to get it to do what I want it to do, because before it wasn't. And so I don't know if you noticed my little change in the way the clippings are on the screen. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that noticed it. But anyways, moving on. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already, if you're new here and you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell, so that way that when we drop a video. You can also please share this video with your friends, as we are trying to build a larger community. That would really help us a lot. So please share. And also you can join our channel where you support our channel monthly. So that would be fantastic as well. So thank you guys for all of you who have already done it. And hopefully if you haven't, you will. So moving on. What else? Oh, and coming up in a few days, actually, well, at the end of the month, really. Well, really, I guess in a few days, the days go by so quickly. So Meghan on the 29th is, as we know, going to be in Indiana, and according to as you can see, the Indiana Philanthropy Alliance tweeted about it. I guess wrote an article of Indianapolis Recorder wrote an article about it, and basically we've seen this information before, but it's also worth repeating, just in case somebody doesn't know. So Meghan is doing an event in Indiana on the 29th, and it's like it says Meghan Markle to speak at Central Indiana Community Foundation Women's Fund event. The Women's Fund is the Women's Fund of Central Indiana will host an event with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, on November 29th at the Indianapolis Marriott downtown, and they gave the address. Established in 1996, the Women's Fund is now a part of the Central Indiana Community Foundation, CIFC. The Women's Fund raises and donates money to invest in the lives of women and girls in Central Indiana. The Women's Fund of Central Indiana believes in the force of women's voices, women's experiences, and women's work, said Tavana Harris Askew, advisory board chair, in a statement. We know that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, does too. We are honored that she will join us on this special evening to celebrate our common cause, the power of women. And this is an event that I guess, other very prominent people have spoken at this event before, including former First Lady Michelle Obama. So it should be a fantastic event. I know one squatty and maybe others who've bought ticket to it. And I don't know if anybody on here is going, or if you're from Indiana and are going to be there or traveling there, please take well, I don't know if you could take pictures, but whatever. If you're going and you can and they allow you to, please. I know there will be no press. I think this is an event that there's not going to be any press. I think that's a deliberate thing with no press. So I don't know if they'll be doing any photos or anything like that, but I hope to see something. And so if you're a squatty and they're there and they allow you to, I hope that they allow you to, take pictures and stuff. And if they don't want to, then don't. We want to respect the privacy and all of that stuff. But it'll be cool, I think. Yeah, I feel the same. Lydia's like, I wish I was able to go to this event. I was like, not able to do for this event. I wish I could go as well, but nope, no can do. Stuck in New York. So, but it should be a fantastic event. And again, this is right up Megan's alley. This is her thing. So, it will be fantastic. But I just, again, talk about building a legacy, and just it's all about, supporting women, supporting girls, supporting just the work of women, and just elevating women's voices. I mean, that's all Meghan. And so again, their legacy, and I keep thinking about the legacy that they're building, and the things what they're building, for their future, and especially for their kids, so that their kids never have to depend on the royal family for anything. They don't have to depend on them for whatever, that they have their own thing happening here. And so I am I am so proud of the two of them. I'm like, yes. And again, it's in such a short time, in the middle of, and for 2 years, whatever, still going in some ways, we've had COVID. And so to see the work that they've been able to do, and just putting their head down, and just blocking out all the noise. And one of the great things that they've done was not be on social media, which is so distracting. So they don't have to, deal with all that distraction and noise. They can literally just put their head down and focus on the things that they want to do. And I'm like, I need that. I need to follow their example. I get distracted way too fast. So, because I'm on social media. So, one of our wonderful squatties, and thank you, squatty. One of our wonderful squatties put together. Oh, I just realized. I think I messed this up. I messed. Oh, I think I totally messed this up. Oh, no, it's there. I just had to move myself out of the way. One of our wonderful squatties, Duchess Boom, put together this whole schedule for us. You can leave it to squatties to do this. They always about Harry and Meghan's schedule. So, Archetypes tomorrow, the 8th, on the 15th, the 22nd, and the final episode is the 29th of Archetypes. Also, on the 29th is when Meghan will be in Indiana doing the Power of Women event there. So that she's going to be there. So we're going to be well fed that whole day. Hopefully we get, pictures or video or whatever from that event, hopefully. But if not, we still have Archetypes, and that's the final episode, episode 12, would be on the 29th. And then, according to Omid Scobie's article that we looked at the last episode, 1 month before the spare drops on January 10th, we are going to get the Sussex's documentary, their Netflix documentary. Now, Netflix hasn't said a word. They have not confirmed anything. They have not said a word about anything. They have nothing. I mean, Meghan said there's a documentary, about their love, and however that, they present that, it's going to be in December, apparently. So we will wait and see when. Maybe they're not going to announce it until after the end of Archetypes. I have no idea. But we should expect somewhere around December 10th, we can have the Sussex's documentary. But December 6th, we know for sure that we're going to be getting the Ripple of Hope Award, and that is with the Robert Kennedy Award that they are going to be in New York for. And also on December 6th is the People's Choice Award too? Oh, my Lord. Well, there's going to be a lot going on December 6th between here. Yeah, so there you go. People's Choice Award that we've been voting for. Going to be on that night. And then, of course, January 10th, we'll have Spare. So we have a lot of Sussex meat and food and all of that stuff to keep us busy, so that we don't have to spend too much time on Shutter Islands, even though we will, because, well, there's sort of periphery stuff. But it is good. it is good. So we're gonna have a whole lot of stuff to chew on and to munch on over for the holidays. So it'll be great. And so I am looking forward to, I'm especially looking forward to that documentary as well. Whatever it'll be, again, Meghan said it's about their love and I guess how they fell in love. And I'm glad they're doing that because I want them, instead of, say, The Crown telling their story, I want them to tell their own story. I don't want that in the hands. I mean, we've seen that in the hands of, especially those on Shutter Island, even those who, like, okay, no, we like Harry, which I appreciate, they're trying, but I just want the truth from the source himself. And so, which is why I know we're all happy that the Spare is there, but I always want Harry and Meghan's story to be told by them and not by the Crown. And not especially since Robert Lacey, and who I'm like, and not, he is the historian who is on the Crown. And honestly, I tweeted a couple of days yesterday. I was like, I don't know that I want to watch The Crown, just because I remembered that he is the historian on The Crown, and I'm like, they're gonna, if you remember who Robert Lacey is, he's the one that Prince William used, when he updated his book. Prince William, he allowed Prince William to use him to smear Meghan and put all that horrible stuff in his book about Meghan. About those fake bullying charges. And so I there's nothing in me that wants to trust anything that Robert Lacey touches, and so I know I posted it and I actually deleted it because, it's like, I didn't want to influence it anyway. Not that I think I can, but, to not watch it if they want to. So I took it down. But for me, I just feel like anything Robert Lacey touches, I don't want any part of it. Because for me, what I'm seeing and the different little reviews I've seen about The Crown, it looks like there are two sides in The Crown, where it's like, oh, but Diana did this as well. And, Charles briefed against her, but Diana as well, which happened. But it's kind of like understanding the power balance. It's like Diana didn't have any power. This woman was fighting for her life and is the only way she could do it, while Charles had all the power and all the influence and all the connections that he was using against her. And it, for me, it's that kind of two-siding thing is something that I'm so against, when the power balance is not the same, when there's literally no balance at all, when the weight of the power is shifted in one direction. And so I just feel like I just can't deal with any kind of two-siding stuff. And, or Charles coming out as any kind of like, any kind of like a hero, any like, I am so not into that. So that part of me is like, I don't even want to watch this, because I'm just gonna get angry. So, Sharon, thank you so much for your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. And I see someone else did. Oh no, let me find it. Where is it? Oh, Black Queen, thank you so much. Pedal, there is a GQ award in London as well, correct? Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. I saw something like, I don't know, was it when the Queen had passed, that something that was saying that Meghan was supposed to be at some award in London for GQ, and it was like, I don't even know. Something came across my feed on Twitter, but I don't know if that was true or not. I'd not heard anything else about it, so that I don't know. So if I get any more information or hear anything about it, I will definitely bring it over so that we can all enjoy that. But I know that Harry was part of that. I think Harry was part of that last year that he did, via Zoom or something, or whatever hookup they had. He did it from California. So no reason why they can't do the same. So, but thank you, Black Queen. I appreciate. So yeah. Oh, I forgot what I was thinking. I forgot what I was talking about. Anyways, I am just happy to see all the wonderful things that, that's going to be happening. But, I was talking about Robert Lacey and his mask. I don't know. I don't know that I want to watch it now. If I have any inkling that they're going to two sides or in any way make the royal family, again, even though that, they're sometimes some criticism, whatever. These people are the root of it. They're royalists. And so it just, I don't know. I'll have to see. I don't know that I want to watch it. Or maybe I'm the only one, but yeah. I don't have any patience for that kind of thing. But anyway, moving on. So, our dear wonderful friend Karma has been playing up in the UK. And you hate to laugh at, when stuff happens, but it's very interesting to me that these things that, people who have been attacking Meghan, especially, Meghan and Harry, and all the things that they have been attacking them for no reason at all. And then all of a sudden, Karma and the ancestors just come in and say, okay, enough. And I love I love this because I posted about it and I'm like, Karma sure is no joke, but she sure has a sense of humor. So our wonderful Anne, Duchess of Success, posted this yesterday, and I was just like, she's like, Karma knows everyone's address and her wingman is a cow. So Jeremy Clarkson, whoever Jeremy Clarkson is, decided, he's like, Jeremy Clarkson claims he doubts Meghan Markle's tears at the Queen's funeral were real. So he's one of those people who, for no reason at all, goes after Meghan for clout and all of that stuff. They it's a sport in England, obviously. So let me attack Meghan and I will get some clout. And so he is doubting Meghan's tears, and he's one of those. And then Karma steps in. Jeremy Clarkson suffered with smashed testicles after a cow attacked him. And I was like, y'all gonna learn to leave Meghan Markle alone. Now, I don't rejoice in someone's testicle being smashed because I can't imagine the pain, but they're all gonna learn, leave Meghan Markle alone. We keep telling them they're not gonna know peace until they leave this woman alone. And he is not the only one, We saw Ian Dale hits out of Meghan Harry's video. It's not royal thing for them to do, when they did I think it was their she guessed that it in Vogue and all that stuff. And he was one of them back then. It's like, broadcaster Ian Dale falls off stage in Buxton Festival. And maybe all of this stuff has nothing to do with, Harry and Meghan. Maybe he has nothing to do, but it's very interesting how all of these people who've been attacking Meghan, especially for no reason, all of a sudden, they just, stuff just happens to them. Last episode we talked about, Eamon Holmes wishing that Harry and Meghan were thrown off a balcony. Next thing you know, Eamon had to have spine surgery, and then what happens? He falls downstairs. And now he's like Eamon in agony, struggling to walk after falling downstairs. This is after just a few weeks ago having spinal surgery. Again, maybe these things have nothing to do with Harry and Meghan, but it's just very interesting, And thank you, Ori B or It's Blue for that. That all of these people, when they're attacking Harry and Meghan for no reason, stuff just happens to them. You think of that horrible, garbage twin. His show is tanking as usual, attacking Harry and Meghan for no reason. And he's now begging people to come on his show. Who knows where it is now? I don't even hear about it anymore. Even if it's I'm assuming it's still there, but I don't even hear about him anymore, So we think, you think in terms of Sarah Vine, again, attacking Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, for no reason. Her husband dumps her. Alice, whatever her name is, and her actor husband, she was another one attacking Meghan for no reason. What happened? Her husband dumps her. Now, she's begging. I think she's now doing like a GoFundMe to try to raise money to pay her bills. It's just like, again, maybe all this stuff is, have nothing to do with Meghan. But it's just very interesting to me that all of these people who have been for no reason attacking Meghan, stuff is just happening to them. And it's like, karma, we always like, why? But karma knows when to step in. Karma knows when to come in and be like, enough. We're going to take over and you're going to stop, you're going to get a taste of what you have been doing to Meghan. So it's just interesting to me. Absolutely interesting to me. So, yes. Hopefully that's, other people would pay attention to what's been happening and they will see that, no, karma's not going to let you destroy one of hers. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say. And then again, I don't rejoice in people's misfortunes. I don't rejoice in any of this stuff. I know I can only imagine how painful it is. But you do that to people, know that maybe if you're doing that and saying these things about people, that what goes around comes around. So there you go. Anyways, let's see what y'all saying in the chat before we move on. Gwendolyn says the video is not a royal thing. That would what about the one that's gone to in the Australian jungle? He's white. He's white, so it's okay. It's always like, whatever Harry and Meghan can't do, the white royals can't do, because we know it's all about the one with the black blood. That's the issue. If Harry was doing all of this stuff by himself, or, he was married to a white person, all of this would be totally fine. What he is doing and all the things he's done would be fine. He's married to someone with black blood, so then it's not fine. So Edna says hi everybody, let's not forget the loss of the eyelashes. That's right. That's right. Lying on Harry and Meghan, and apartheid Bobby losing her eyelashes. Did those grow back? I have no idea if her eyelashes grew back. But again, I don't want to laugh at her misfortune, but that is just hilarious. Yep, she definitely lost her eyelashes. I'm telling you. Let's see. Lorna says, wasn't Jeremy Clarkson involved in some scandal that caused him to lose his job? I have no idea. I have no interest in Jeremy Clarkson, other than the fact that, karma just paid him a visit. I don't know. But there you go. Sylvia says, peddle that garbage to stay on Fox, talking bad about the Duchess Meghan. Well, I'm sure he is, but I think I made it in terms of where people are literally like quoting him, or at least I don't see it. Maybe I just don't pay attention to him, and he's not, and I block so many people that his stuff just doesn't come across my feed. And so maybe that's why I don't, but I don't see him like, people anywhere prominent where people are tweeting about him or anything like that. So who knows? Let him stay over there with his 0 ratings. Let's see. Marcus says, hi. Oh, Marcus. Denise Marcus. Sorry, Denise. Denise says, I'll tell everyone to go back and listen to the blessing the priest put on Meghan and Harry. That alone was a blessed unity. Oh, I need to go back and watch that myself. Thank you. Let's see. Kathy says, somebody has a doll with pins. Oh, well, it could be, but I don't know that Karma necessarily needs dolls with pins. I think she got that. Karma's like, let's just descend on this island for a minute, shall we? Joan says, Angela Levin, best try levitating. Oh, well, her mother did call her the devil, so that would be right up her alley right there. So there you go. I can imagine Satan floating away somewhere. So there you go. That would be right there. Ann Lewis says Jeremy Clarkson, host of the show Top Gear. It was not a car. He got smashed. A cow. Yeah, that's what he says. It was a cow. A cow kicked him, I guess, in the testicles. And yeah, so yeah, that's what it says. And the person who tweeted it says hero cow. It's just like, oh, ouch, you know. Let's see. I am scrolling up. Miss September says Harry just left because he's a grown man and wanted to be in charge of his own life and do what he's passionate about. Exactly. Exactly. And they, of course, want him to remain this little boy spare that they can take advantage of and refuse to acknowledge that this man is a grown man who's almost 40 years old, that they seem to want to call a boy forever. It's like, no, in the real world, people actually grow up. So there. Kathy says, Pedal Megan needs a good long break from Narnia. Much too soon to return. Zoom will do. Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. Zoom forever. No need to return there. So, let's see. Anne I think you're it. Anne says, I read Kate is struggling with work and also she's pregnant with a fourth child, but no official confirmation. When that woman must work, she disappears pregnant and laid up for months out of sight. Well, I have no confirmation of any of those things. So I don't know. I hadn't paid attention to her, other than the fact that they're, trying to steal the Sussex's model. Other than that part, but who knows? Would I be surprised? No, absolutely not. Nala Thandu, hello. She says, hello, Pedal and beloved squatties. I'm hoping you and your families are all okay. Well, thank you, Nala Thandu. I know my family are fine, and I hope you and yours are as well. And I hope all of our squatties and their families are fine as well. So thank you very much. Let's see, before we move ahead. Miss September again. She's talking to Cookies and Cream. These titles mean nothing if they take them. Harry is always going to be Prince Harry. Charles would have to give a good reason why. Well, again, he cannot. Prince Charles can't strip them, and it has to be an act of parliament, as I understand it. So that's one. And two, Harry and Meghan have done nothing to warrant their titles being stripped in any sense of the word. So, because if you're going to strip a title, since they're, if they're thinking, oh, we're going to strip it because, they did an interview with Oprah, they're going to do a documentary, they're writing a book. Well, all of those things, all of those, Prince Charles, the Queen, they've all done those things. So, and they still retain their title. So what is the excuse you're going to make? Like, well, it'll be one, ridiculous and stupid. And two, you're stripping a title from two people who are making an incredible impact in the world in all these different areas, more of an impact than you as a royal family, taxpayer funded, are not making. So you're going to strip a title from those two because of the stupidity of your press? Now, the royal family is just stupid enough to do that because, again, they are basically controlled by the press, and their whole lying narrative is, they depend on the press to promote their lying narrative and the spin that they always do. But it'll be really, even though that's the case, it'll be really, really stupid and counterproductive for them to do something like that. Again, look at all the, I did 2 episodes on the work that Harry and Meghan are doing globally and the impact they're making globally. So you're going to have to explain to the global audience that you want as your audience why you would strip 2 people of titles that are doing this incredible work. You're going to have a tough job trying to explain that for the, and then trying to explain, oh, it's because they did an interview or they wrote a book. Harry wrote a book. Well, and everyone will be like, well, you did the same. You did exactly the same. And not only that, you have all these charges against you, tax for access, cash for honors. You were best friends with pedophiles. You, I mean, your favorite family member was also a pedophile. You talk, think about colonialism. I mean, you have not apologized for any of that. I mean, there's so much attached to the royal family that they're going to have to try to explain to the world why they're somehow better and deserving of titles than two people who are actually out there using their own money, not being taxpayer funded, and doing a better job than they are. They're going to have a lot to explain. So, again, that would be really stupid. But they are just stupid enough to do it, unfortunately. Good luck to them on that one. So, but, anyways, moving on. So I came upon and if you guys are on Twitter, you probably have seen this. One of our wonderful squaddies, actually, I should have, Duchess JRM, we'll get to that in a second. She posted a clips from this documentary that I had not known before. And I've been trying to find it, and I don't know where to find it. And it was a Channel 4 documentary, and I think it was done in like 2003 by Patrick Jeffson. And if you don't know who that is, that he was Princess Diana's press secretary. I think he was to her. Oh, her private secretary, actually. And he was also, I think, the one that when Martin Bashir did that interview with Diana, I think he was the one that Martin Bashir said that, he was basically feeding information to the press about her. And so Diana didn't even tell him what she was, that she was going to do the interview with Martin Bashir. But anyway, so he did this documentary, and it's called Charles, The Battle with Diana. And again, it was a Channel 4 documentary. So I don't know if you guys have seen the documentary. I can't find it. I don't know. I've been like trying to Google it all over. I saw a little clip of it, but I can't find the whole documentary. But she has been posting clips of it, and it was very, very, very interesting. And what the crux of the whole documentary is about how Prince Charles used the press, used his courtiers for one thing, used the press and used royal biographers to label Princess Diana crazy, to label her unstable. And a few episodes ago, someone had posted, and we did it on the episode, and I read it on the episode. Camilla's brother-in-law, he did an article, and where he outlined how Princess Diana, how Camilla and Charles really groomed Princess Diana and thought, okay, we'll pick her because they thought she was still, she's young and stupid, really. And then in the end, where she really was talking to everyone and letting people, and telling people that Princess Diana was batty or crazy. And so she was all part of this drama of trying to paint Princess Diana as unstable, as crazy. And so it has just been, listening to the clip, it was so jarring, and it was so like, oh my goodness, that, and it's so wild because Jeffson was saying, he had a choice whether, when the Princess Diana and Charles were, they were going through their issues. And so they sort of had to break camps where he had his own staff and she had her own staff, because it came at a time where Princess Diana's popularity skyrocketed, and she was the glamorous one and everybody wanted her, and Charles was very jealous of that. And so their staff split. And so he had to make a choice, either to go with Prince Charles or to go with Princess Diana. And one of the reasons he chose to go with Prince Charles was, one, as he talked about just Charles's his office, which was at St. James Palace at the time. Now it's at he is at Clarence House. His office at St. James Palace, they were really all just about spin. They were about twisting the truth, twisting the facts, and spinning it in his favor and against Princess Diana. So he did not like that. That's what he said in the documentary, that he did not like that. And also another part of the reasons why he didn't go was Michael Fawcett. Michael, as you can see in the picture there, that's Prince Charles and Michael Fawcett. And it's like Michael Fawcett, because of how he dealt with the staff, and that he literally said in the documentary that Michael Fawcett, like Michael Fawcett thought he was also royal. And so that's how he would treat the staff, like he was also royalty. And he also talked about Princess Diana being completely creeped out by Michael Fawcett and how his closeness to Prince Charles, and it's almost like he was addicted to Prince Charles or something. And so she was very concerned about, and she thought it was a very unhealthy relationship. And so she was really creeped out by it, his relationship with Prince Charles. And obviously we know, even, it was only this year, or that Prince Charles, last year, actually late last year, that Prince Charles, quote unquote, fired Michael Fawcett. And he referred to Michael Fawcett as his, as, I guess, his staff that he can't live without, I guess. And so Princess Diana was very, very concerned about that relationship. And so he chose to go with Michael. He chose to go with Princess Diana. And one of the things he talked about, with that is the people that Charles used to basically demonize Princess Diana, and really so that the world, and I guess one of the things that you can see them, what they're doing with Harry and Meghan, in Harry and Meghan's sense, they're trying to get the world to see them as liars. Everything they said, they fact check and all of that stuff to the hilt, to paint them liars, because they don't want people to believe what they said with Diana. They wanted people to think she was crazy. And this was the whole theme. It's like, everything was about it was they wanted her to think that she was crazy. And so one of the things they used was with Jonathan Dimbleby. That's the one in the middle there. And Jepson, he found out that Charles was gonna do the interview, or he was gonna be working with Jonathan Dimbleby on this book. Again, Charles co-wrote this book really with Jonathan Dimbleby. And even though Jonathan Dimbleby's name is on it, a lot of the things that are in there is Charles, and then Charles also availed his staff. He authorized his staff to talk to Jonathan Dimbleby. And one of the things with Jonathan Dimbleby was Jepson knew that Charles was going to talk about Diana. And that was in a period where all of this briefing against Diana was happening. So he knew that Charles's staff was going to lie about Princess Diana. He knew that they were going to be talking about, and lying about her mental state. And so what he did was he set up an interview, lunch with Jonathan Dimbleby and Princess Diana. And so he did that, and Princess Diana met with him. They had a great time. He said, he was there as well. And, it was wonderful. They was laughing and talking and just really having a great, so that he can get to meet Diana for himself. And instead of just going on what Charles's people say, he was going to, just meet her and talk with her and get to know her, so that when he writes about her, he can have his own impression of her. And so at the end of the lunch, Dimbleby, he spoke to Dimbleby and, about what he thought. And Dimbleby's response was basically, well, he would rather go with what he heard about Princess Diana. This man met this woman, talked to her, had a whole lunch with her, talked to her, and yet he would rather go with what he was told by Prince Charles's people to go instead of what his own eyes said to him, and in the book, what he said in the book, instead of writing what he saw in the book, he basically and there's a quote in there. He says, and this was from one of Prince Charles's staff. He says, Prince Charles's staff says, her general demeanor, that is Princess Diana's general demeanor, seems something out of a nightmare, beyond all reason and out of control. He then went on to blame Diana's non-existent mental problems on her marriage. And it's like he met her, he talked to her for himself, and instead of going by what he saw, and or he could have, if he wanted to meet her again, I'm sure Jefferson would have set it up. But instead he went by, in the book, he went by what Prince Charles's staff said. And so he was talking, and that's Royal Dicky, or Dicky Arbiter. That's Victoria Arbiters with the no the no eyelashes. That's her father. And so Jepson and Dicky Arbiter started working with the royal family around the same time. So Jepson talked to him about this very issue, about why Charles would go speak to Jonathan Dimbleby about something negative about his wife. And so Dicky Arbiter in the first part was trying to make, all of these like, oh, well, Charles was having really a hard time at the time, at that moment. He was having so much negative press, and he wanted to set the record straight. And, maybe. And so Jepson was like, well, if you want to set the record straight, talking to a biographer who Prince Charles was going to write something negative about his wife is hardly the way to set the record straight. And so then Dicky was like, Arbiter had to, it's like, okay, yeah, that may have not been the right thing to have done. So even he had to admit that what Prince Charles did with Jonathan Dimbleby. And again, Prince Charles was given the book before he's printed, with other stuff that was written, the negative stuff that was written about Princess Diana's mental health. And he had to, he reviewed the book and whatever, and he didn't take it out. He left it right in there. And one of the things that's going around is like, oh, Prince Charles would never allow or never ask anyone to say anything negative about Princess Diana ever. He would never ask his staff. In fact, he would be really very upset, and that person would, may lose their position, whatever, if they speak badly against the mother of his children. Yet Prince Charles, the same Prince Charles, allowed his staff to go and speak to Jonathan Dimbleby, even though he knew that what they would be telling Jonathan Dimbleby was lies about Princess Diana's mental health. He did the same thing with Penny Junor. If you guys know Penny Junor, he did the same very thing with Penny Junor, who is one of the most sympathetic to Prince Charles. And she wrote a book, and I wasn't sure, they didn't say specifically which one of the books. So she wrote 3 of them about Princess, I think she wrote one about Princess Diana, one about their marriage, and then one about Prince Charles. So they didn't say specifically which one. But Penny Junor wrote this book, and it's the same thing. Apparently she dedicated a whole chapter in her book to Princess Diana's mental health. All the stories from Prince Charles's staff, including Mark Bolan, who was his press secretary. And Mark Bolan, and I didn't know this, again, hearing this documentary for the first time, Penny Junor said, because apparently when the book came out, Charles's staff were distancing themselves, like, oh, it's not us, we didn't talk to her, whatever. We had nothing to do with Penny Junор's book, whatever. So they were literally distancing themselves from her book. Because again, that whole chapter, about Princess Diana's mental health. And what Penny Junor says in her own words in this documentary was, Prince Charles's press secretary, Mark Bolan, that's him at the bottom of Penny Junor there, met with her and her publisher at the start of her writing her book. And he was a person that facilitated all the stuff that she had, including all the staff, Prince Charles's staff, that that contributed to her book. And it was amazing. It's like, and then when the book came out, they all lied and claimed they had nothing to do with it, And yet, all through her book, Mark Bolan, Prince Charles's press secretary, was there, either giving, whether it's stories or making other staff that they wanted available to tell them all this stuff about Princess Diana. And it is just like, I was just so sickened by Penny Junor. Like, how could you do that to another woman? And not only did Penny Junor do that, she was also writing articles about, Princess Diana. And literally, they were gaslighting Princess Diana. this is at the bottom is a clip of an article that Penny Junor wrote, and she's talking about Camilla's relationship with, and it's kind of blocked out a little bit at the top, so you can't really see it's Camilla, but Camilla's relationship with Charles. And she says that the relationship with Charles has helped him to maintain his sanity in a traumatic marriage. They are very close, but nothing other than good friends. It is Diana's obsession that makes it sound otherwise. So at the time, Diana was like, she was loudly proclaiming, no, Prince, my husband, is cheating on me. And at the time, what was happening was Charles was excluding her from events that they would go to, like friends' houses in the country, and they would exclude her from all these parties and all of those things. But they would include Camilla, and his staff and his friends would set up their, his trysts with Camilla, and obviously lie to Diana or gaslight her that, of course, she is lying and it's because it's her mental health, and she is she's imagining things, and so all of this stuff they're saying about Diana. And it was only until, as you can see, that famous tampon gate happened, when that the press discovered, or at least they will leak this tape of Prince Charles on the phone with Camilla wanting to be a tampon, that it finally was, people was like, oh my gosh, Diana was telling the truth. Even Jeffson was saying that when Diana was saying those things and she was like, no, this is what is happening. Even he was thinking she was, imagining things or exaggerating things. And it wasn't until that people was like, oh my goodness, this woman is telling the truth. She didn't imagine all of those things, And so that's when people realized, like, Charles has been lying all of this time. And we've, seen where his other valets after a while, like Ken Stronach was talking about, Charles being out in the bushes while Diana is sleeping with Camilla, and then having to, wash his underwear, and all of that messiness was happening. And it's just and the fact that Penny Junor, like, when that thing about Diana's mental health and her being unstable, it was that book and those articles specifically by Penny Junor, and some of it by Jonathan Dimbleby, but mostly Penny Junor, that solidified that. So, that Diana was unstable, or at least the narrative that Diana was unstable, which was completely false. She wasn't. They were literally trying to drive her crazy. They were doing these things and then gaslighting her and making people think she is crazy. And they were upset because Diana was not, and according to Jeffson, the thing that got his friends upset, and they started blabbing things to the media about her and calling her crazy and unstable, and that she was having a mental breakdown and all of those things, was because Diana was vocal. She refused to play second fiddle. She refused to play second fiddle to Camilla and whatever Charles and Camilla were doing. And he wanted to cheat on her in peace, and she wouldn't let him. And so then they decided to brand her unstable. And just the evil of that is just, it's unreal. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm assuming Harry knows all this stuff. And I would do anything for Harry to write about this, about what he thinks about what his father did to his mother. It is just, it's so sick that what Charles did, and then using his friends. And the thing about Charles is he's always like this. We saw it. We've talked about cash for access, cash for honors, all that stuff. Is Charles is always in a position where he could claim plausible deniability, because he lets his friends and he lets his staff do his dirty work. So he can then go and claim, oh, no, I knew nothing about this. I would never ask someone to, say anything negative about my wife. I could never ask anyone to do this to my wife. Meanwhile, he is the one that's in control of his staff. As according to Penny Junor, yes, Mark Boland had them, but Mark Boland wasn't controlling Prince Charles's staff. Prince Charles was controlling his staff. And it's so sick and insidious. It's like, oh my gosh, and so that's why I got irritated when I saw things about the crown where they were like, oh, they're two sizing it. Oh, well, Diana was also doing, she was also leaking stuff to the press. I'm like, well, the balance of power was not there. Diana was fighting for her life. She was literally fighting for her life, and they were gaslighting her, and she had to do what she had to do to fight for her own sanity and fight for her reputation because of what they were doing. So any kind of two sidesing in that gets me really irritated. And so, but I just thought it just really, 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 really sick and really, really sickening, just the way and the things that they were saying about her. It just, ooh. And another thing that they were claiming about Diana, apart from her being mentally unstable, that another thing they were saying about her is that she was difficult. And we all remember that. She was difficult. Why? Because she wouldn't let them cheat and gaslight her in peace. She was difficult. And another thing they would do is, we remember Richard K, that one who I think always deliberately forget his last name. One of the things that they would do is also leak stuff about Diana, because at the time, well, not they were always leaking stuff about Diana, but especially when she was so popular. I mean, she obviously outshone Prince Charles, and just her glamour, her work, and everything. She just completely overshadowed him in every shape and form. And one of the things they did exactly what they've done to Meghan is, because of the time her clothes was all being paid for by Prince Charles, obviously by the Duchy of Cornwall at the time. So her clothes and stuff for her engagements for the palace was being paid for them. So what did they do? Exactly what they did to Meghan. Leaked, to Richard K how much her clothes cost, which I'm sure they probably exaggerated that price, but and then obviously Richard K, that's him at the top, was at the Daily Mail way back then. He of course wrote about it, and then they labeled her extravagant because of her $3,000 a week grooming bill. And who knows if that was the truth, but that's what they leaked to him. And also at the time, obviously, she was overshadowing, her fame was overshadowing the monarchy and everyone else in there. One of the courtiers leaked to Robert Jobson, that's him at the bottom. It's so funny, he looks very young back then, because this was done in 2003, I think. That Diana was a thorn in the Queen's side. So all this, apart from her being labeled mentally unstable, difficult, she was also extravagant, and also she was a thorn in the Queen's side. So, I mean, it was everything they were throwing at this woman. Why? Because she would not let Charles gaslight her. She wouldn't do it. And so they decided that they were going to destroy her. And it's so sick. It is just so sick. And it's just, again, is one of the reasons why anything in, and I know The Crown is a show and it's not real and it's not a documentary, even though, we've been saying, oh, The Crown is we know it. But it's kind of like, I can't, even with a show, I literally cannot tolerate any kind of, oh, well, she was doing something, she was doing it with the press as well. And it's just, no, they were literally trying to take this woman out. And one of the things that they talked about, at the end, where they were, when she died, they were talking about how this was a good thing, not necessarily a good thing for Charles, but it made Charles' life easier. It made things much easier for Charles, because now he can rebrand himself. And it was like, that's what they were thinking of. Not the fact that this woman had a tragic death, however, and again, I don't think it was an accident, but life would be so much easier for him. So now he can rebrand himself, and it's just like, that is how sick these people are. And again, Charles using his friends to, basically get that stuff out there. And it's just, I mean, ugh. And you look back and you think of, just how one of the things that I always talk about with is William, when when it was finally revealed just what happened with Princess Diana's interview at the BBC, and him basically calling his mother paranoid, and basically calling her, like she's I can't think of the exact words he used, but it basically is just exactly what Prince Charles, he basically took a page out of Prince Charles's playbook. Because again, this is, what Prince Charles and his friends and his staff called Princess Diana, that she said she was unstable, she was awkward, she was delusional, she had a nervous breakdown, she was difficult, she was extravagant, and all of these things. And so I feel like William just took a page out of Prince Charles's playbook and threw it at his mother. And it's so sick and so sickening. And again, I really hope that, whether Prince Harry would, talk about this, about how it's, I don't know. And so, but I really, part of me really hope that he approaches this and talk about this, because it's, again, the same thing, for, is the same thing that they've been doing to Meghan, except, they're using, but even though, they've been doing they're lying, they're, all of that stuff to Harry and Meghan, they've also intimated that they always talk about Harry, that Harry is crazy, he's delusional, and they always bring up his mental health in a negative way, again, also to paint him as if he, as if he's his mental health is is the reason why he's doing the things he's doing, that he's crazy. Even the same Robert Lacey's book, where they talk about Harry and Meghan, the staff calling Harry and Meghan damaged goods. That's all goes along in that same vein of trying to damage their character, so nobody believes when they tell people that the royal family are evil and they're wicked, wicked people. And so it is just, for me, just so sickening watching. And I don't know, will they put this in the crown? I have no idea. I hope so. I hope they they talk about this. I don't know. But for me, this is the real crown. This is the real life version of that crown, and to see these reporters. And the thing about it too is these reporters know exactly what's happening. They know that Prince Charles is what he's doing, because it's so funny. Richard Kay was saying that, Prince Charles would never, what he understands is Prince Charles would never, ever want any of his staff or his friends to say anything negative about his wife, about the mother of his children. He would never want them to do it. In fact, he would go after them if they did something like this. And I'm so happy Jepson went after this exact same line. He asked Richard Kay, he says, okay, since, Prince Charles would have really negatively gone after his friends or his staff, if any of them say any negative things or speak to any reporter and say anything negative about his wife and the mother of his children, we know that his staff and his friends have done exactly that. Have any of his friends lost their friendship with Prince Charles since they have done and spoken negatively against his wife? And Richard Kay had to admit, no. None of them has lost. He has not done away with any of his friends who've spoken negatively about his wife. And then Jepson asked him, how about his staff? Has any of his staff lost their job because they've spoken to a royal, a biographer or someone in the press negatively about his wife and about his wife's mental health? Has any of them lost their job? And Richard Kay was like, no. So then he's like, well, he's not really holding up, so that's kind of mute, right? So this idea that Prince Charles would never allow someone, it's a lie, because not only did his staff do it, there's been no consequences. There's been absolutely no consequences. And these reporters, they knew exactly what Prince Charles was doing. Penny Jr. knows exactly what Prince Charles was doing. She knows it's a lie. They all have known, Royal Dickie, they all have known what Prince Charles was doing to Princess Diana. They all knew. Yet none of them stood up and say no. They all wrote all of that horrible thing against this woman. They knew the truth, and they went and they did exactly what Prince Charles wanted them to do, and disparage her and label her mentally unstable, delusional, and difficult. There were parts, some of them claimed that she was a bully as well. It is just the same thing they're doing to Meghan. And so it is, for me, just so sickening. So sickening, to where now people are like, oh, Prince Charles and Camilla. I'm like, no, these people are evil. They are evil. They are absolutely evil. And so, again, I don't know how far into this Harry would go, but I hope, I mean, I'm assuming he would know all about this, because it's so funny. Jepson said he wrote a book, and I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But when he wrote the book about Princess Diana, his time with Princess Diana, the palace really went after him. They really, they got their lawyers after him. And then Prince Charles once again used Prince William to do a press conference condemning Jepson for writing the book. But, one of the things that Prince Charles never did was he didn't condemn Jonathan Dimbleby, who wrote all the stuff about Princess Diana. He didn't condemn Penny Junor, who wrote about Princess Diana. None of those people were condemned. Jepson was. Again, Jepson is no saint, even though he did this. I mean, there are other things he's done, especially, he's not exact. He's a royalist, no matter. So he's no, like, okay, he's the good guy, one of the good guys. He's not. But, especially some things he said later about Harry and Meghan, that's another story. But in this case, he was completely correct. And so, but it's interesting how I just thought it was interesting how Prince Charles once again, because they were like, oh, you were his private, her private secretary. You basically divulge all the Princess Diana's secrets and all of those things. So they really went after him. But again, in this way, he again used Prince William to do the press conference about Jepson. And it's, again, Prince Charles never, ever, ever stands up and do these things himself. You will never see him personally condemning anything, talking about anyone. So nobody can say Prince Charles literally does it. He has these people and his son do it for him. So again, he could claim plausible deniability. And it is just like, I don't know why people allow him to do it. I don't know. For the life of me, I don't understand why. I mean, this man is 70-something years old. He has never, ever stood up and, and taken responsibility for the things that he allowed and the things that his friends do in his name, according, even Patrick Jepson said the same thing. It's like, he has to, at some point, take responsibility for the things that his people do in his name. But he never does, because he gets them to fall on the sword for him. But anyways, it's unreal. But we'll change the subject in a second. I'm going to jump in the chat. I know that was a long, but it's, if you guys know where to find this video, like the whole documentary, again, she posted clips of the documentary, and I've been trying to find it, and I haven't been able to find it. So if you know where to find this documentary, and then again, it's called Charles, The Battle with Diana, and by Patrick Jeffson. And he was the one that hosted. And it's really, really good. So, and again, the good thing about it is he got those biographers and reporters they're on camera speaking. So it's not like it's just his words. He got them admitting to what they have done. So, which is really good. So anyways, I'm going to jump into chat for a second, and then we'll move on quickly. Let's see. Mama Jane says, it's making more sick or sense. I'm too old for all what we're going through with this royal family. I'm telling you, they are a mess. They are a mess, Mama Jane. They are all a mess. So it is just, oh, she's like, I like your new photo. Oh, okay. I'm not so sure. I was just like, put it there. I was like, I don't know. But we'll keep it there for a minute and see if it works. But thank you so much. Um, let's see. Black Queen says, a mad world. She's talking to mad world. Seriously, Diana didn't have any peace with any relationship she had on Vile Shutter Island. She was tormented to her death. Yeah, she really was. She really was. I mean, there are other relationships that she has that people have sold her out, wrote books about. I mean, it's just there's so many things that has happened to this woman in her short life that it's just like, oh, with all of her wealth and with all of her stature and all of those things, it's just like I'm sure she would have traded all of that for just a moment of peace. So yeah. um let's see. Sylvia says, yes, they say the same thing about Meg. Yeah, they say the same thing about Meghan, and also including that, she's a bully and all of those things, that she's a liar and all of it is just a discredit so that they can be evil in peace. They can abuse in peace. That's what the moment you start calling them out, it's like they start gaslighting and start branding you and labeling you and getting their press to do it. And again, it's like these people in the press and who are biographers, it's not that they don't know that this is a lie. They don't know that they're labeling someone, falsely labeling someone. They know, but they refuse to stand up to the monarchy. They will just go right along with it and allow the monarchy to allow now King Charles and all these people to destroy a person instead of standing up and saying, no, this is not right. They would never do it. C-Mac says, Will is about to do the same to Kate. All the stories about how tired she is, how being the Prince of Wales too much, Charlotte's behavior at a funeral is all her fault. Watch, she's next. Unfortunately, I mean, one would hope things would change, but again, this is the royal family. They don't change. They just carry on the same behavior. And which is why I am so happy that Harry has broken for himself and his family, that he has broken that. So yeah. Let's see. Black Queen, she said, Mad World. I never heard of Diana attending college. I believe she went to a boarding school in Switzerland before entering the royal family. Yeah, I haven't heard about college either. I don't know that she did that. Yeah. Anne says, she's on Mama Jane. They're saying the apple do not fall far from the tree. No, it drops right at the bottom. It just drops with a thud. Let's see. There we go. Madwell is again talking to Black Queen. After her divorce, she was able to move on. Look up Diana and Dodi. He was killed in a crash along with Diana. He was the heir of Herods. Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Google, if you don't know the story, definitely Google search it. It's all, I mean, you'll find millions of articles, I'm sure, are there about that. Let's see. Mama Jen says, well, I hope Harry says something about William and Kate. I mean, I don't know that, I wouldn't expect him to talk about the state of their marriage or anything. I mean, that would be, I'm sure he would probably feel that's not his business and not his place to be talking about where people are in their relationship. But I would expect him to talk about his relationship with William and maybe his relationship with Kate, not necessarily their relationship together. So I don't know what he's going to do about that, but I definitely would want to hear his thoughts. I mean, I'm assuming he has read all, or at least watched all these videos and seeing all of these takes and what happened with his mom. And that's, definitely, I'm sure, formed an opinion. I would love to hear that from him, what, his take on what his father did to his mother. Yeah. And you're it, my dear. Princess Diana did not like Charles's friends. Now we know why. Yeah, I know. They would exclude. I mean, there are many, not just this. I've heard this before and I've seen this before, where his friends and his staff would exclude her, literally exclude her from parties and stuff like that. There was an event where actually, even in this, there was a clip in this documentary that talks about when Charles broke his arm playing polo. And so he was at Highgrove, and Princess Diana, canceled her hair appointment and all of that to rush to Highgrove to take care of him. She got there, and then a few hours later, I guess, called her hairdresser to see if she can get the appointment. And the hairdresser was like, I thought you were at Highgrove. She's like, yeah, but Camilla is here. And so, yeah, that was the relationship they had. And his friends would always exclude her from, they would go out in the country at their different homes, and, they have their rich friends out there. They would exclude her. His staff and his friends would, organize his secret life with Camilla. And then when Diana find out about it or whatever, they would gaslight her. And, so, and again, when she started making noise, and apparently she would complain to them and stuff, and they're all was like, okay, we're going to leak about that and let the world think you're crazy. And which is what they did. That is exactly what they did. And Charles allowed them to do it. Let's see, scrolling up. Madwell says, Black Queen, yes, Diana ended up leaving the UK briefly. If I'm not mistaken, she enrolled in college here. Where's you in the US, Black Queen, Mad World? I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea. I know she wanted to move to the US. She wanted to move to California, definitely. And so, but, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know about that. More I need to know about Princess Diana then. Judge Nelly, our awesome moderator, says, what burns me is that Diana died before she could find her happily ever after. I know. That just sucks. I mean, it just, and then the wicked ones are the ones that are alive and, getting all these accolades where, now they're king and queen, the ones who tormented her, and so it's so unfair. It is so, so, so unfair what they did to her. More than anything, just even if it's just to see her son, I'm not into the other one in Shutter Island, but at least to see Harry, happy and with a family. It really, really, yeah, I'm here with you, Church Nelly, on this. It really burns to know that she didn't have that. They literally took that away from that woman. Sylvia says, Lydia, they even came up with a of, I don't know what that word means, of what Harry's friends were calling Meghan. It is the same. I'm protective of Meghan. Meghan has gone through a lot. Oh yeah, they were, apparently, at least what the press claimed, that they were calling Meghan all these names. The friends, when she called them out, they were, they're like, why are you marrying that woman? And we know about what, William's staff were calling her, all those derogatory names they were calling Meghan, it's very much out there in the press. So, and again, they do this to people, they do this to people who will not allow them to abuse them in peace. People who can speak up. And again, it's no coincidence they've done it to Diana and now they've done it to Meghan, so you won't see them, doing that to Kate, because Kate doesn't really say nothing. She's just sort of like, okay, let them just come and mold me into whatever you want me to be. So yeah. Joanna says, difficult means a strong woman. Exactly what Diana says. Exactly. And they're, just as they labeled Meghan Duchess difficult. Yep, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. They are not able to mold them into what they want them to be. So they have branded them difficult. They're not gonna, let them be abused in peace. So they are difficult. Rebecca Arthur says, Petal, that is why Harry took Meghan out of that island. Charles is evil. God will be the last judge. He sure will be. Unless, karma pays him a visit before the Lord has life to deal with him, so we'll see. Trishnelli says Diana had no one on her side. She really didn't. She had a few friends, but they weren't they weren't obviously as powerful as say what's in the monarchy. But yeah, even her brother and stuff, they weren't. Yeah, she really, in a lot of ways, she was on her own. And that's why, I remember in the Oprah interview, that when Harry was talking about it, it's like he was so happy that he had Meghan. At least they could do it together and fight through it together. But she was alone. She was alone. So in a lot of ways. So Sharon says every one of them that lie on Diana, their karma is coming. Penny, penny, karma is coming. And it's so weird with Penny Jr. because, and I have to go back and look at her story, because I know she had a very traumatic time with her father and all of that stuff. And you'd think people who go through these kind of traumas would have mercy on someone going through trauma. But it seems like, a lot of these people in the UK, especially reporters, they go through that trauma, and you think of people, say, like Angela Levin, and instead of having compassion on someone going through it, they abuse the person. It's kind of like, it's like, but you went through abuse. You know what that is like. And you would think that would cause you to be compassionate to somebody else who's going through it, but it's like it turned them into these hardened things that it's unreal to watch what they do. And it's just like, and to know, again, it's a woman that, basically, and they know it's a lie. They know. And you went ahead and did that. And she's not the only reporter that did it, but, her books is what really solidified in people's head that label of Princess Diana being unstable. And hers and Jonathan Dimbleby, because as we said, Jonathan Dimbleby's book is really written by Prince Charles. It's Prince Charles's book. And he fact-checked that book and read through it, and he didn't take out any of those things out, the negative things about Princess Diana. He didn't take it out. He left it right there. And it's just, yeah, unreal. Let's see. Sophie says Penny is doing the same thing to Duchess Meghan. They all are. Yep. They all, and that's why I'm happy again. Meghan and Harry are doing their own stories, that they're all, they're writing their own thing and you putting it out on different, media platforms, So yeah, I am surprised she hasn't, gotten around to writing a book yet. Who knows? She's probably has one, in the works. But now that Harry and Meghan are doing their own thing, there probably would be a lot less likely that stuff like that would come out. But yeah, they've all been, all being the same. Yeah, Joyce is like, I'm surprised she hasn't written a book about Harry and Meghan yet. I think she write a book about Harry? I have to go back and check. I thought she wrote a book about Harry. I could be wrong about that. Or maybe it was Harry and William. I have to go back and check. I don't remember. They write, a lot of them write so many books that I don't remember who did what. So yeah. Lydia says all those lies, all they do is lie in the UK media. So sad. And yeah, that was one of the reasons why, there was a historian when this whole big thing started, with the Crown and Judy, Dame Judy Dench was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this to the royal family and all of that stuff. And the historian was like, look, the royal family have not been forthcoming with the truth. And then they, again, they pretty much twist stuff and again, they work with the tabloids, who their whole thing is to twist the truth and twist the facts. So, they can't be upset that they're all, people are not having the correct information about them. So it's just like the royal family, they don't want the truth out there. They don't want the truth. And so anytime someone, for example, when Harry or Meghan speak the truth, it's like, oh my gosh, you're attacking them. You're attacking us. And it's like, they don't want the truth. All they do is lie. They don't want you to know the truth because, that's what, again, when people say like, oh my God, The Crown is the documentary. I'm like, no. If The Crown were to be a documentary, they would have to put all this mess in, really, really damaging stuff. If they were to put all the stuff in that the royal family has done, they most likely would not be a royal family right now. They are being very, very kind and humanizing them. These people are inhumane, but they are humanizing them, But a lot of the stuff it's like, I guess they don't have time to put all that stuff in, and it would be really too depressing, a lot of the stuff. So unbelievable. But let's move on. Enough about Prince Charles and his mess. Let's move on to something a lot more pleasant. Actually, let's just change our music for a second here and just take a breather from that. And yeah, Thunder, I think let's just do that one and see. Oh, yeah. All right, over to more positive things. Invictus. Prince Harry's so proud of that man and the work they do at Invictus. But Invictus Australia had a day of sports day a couple of days ago, and it's just so cute. It says fantastic day to see hundreds from the veteran and the defense committee at the Invictus as a community sports day at Tuggeranong Archery Club, supported by the Defense Health. Thanks to all who turned up, collaborated, and tried new sports. And I love this. It's a day of, I guess, a family day out in Australia. I especially love that picture of the little girl. She's learning archery with a cute little dress and, and boots. And I was like, you go, and face all painted. So kudos to Invictus Australia. And again, if you don't know, Invictus is a lot more than just the games. There are so many things that are part of Invictus Games that each country do for their veterans when they're not part of the games, and to keep that community thriving. So it looks like fun for all in Australia. So kudos to them. And I didn't notice some new pictures popped up today, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is when Harry and Meghan were in Germany. So just before I came on, I saw it popped up on the internet. Invictus Dusseldorf posted these. This was from their Instagram feed. It says, to celebrate the 1-year mark until Invictus Games, we did something very special. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, visited Dusseldorf and did not miss the opportunity to inaugurate a special train of Dusseldorf's public transportation company, Rheinbahn. Rheinbahn staff and the staff from the event partners, DS Sports and Benschwer, I don't know, said that wrong probably, welcome the Duke and Duchess on the maiden voyage. The background of this great corporation, the Rheinbahn will support the Invictus Games Dusseldorf 23 as the mobility partner and bring spectators and competitors, volunteers, and family and friends to their destination in a sustainable and CO2 friendly, neutral way. Have you already discovered our special train in Dusseldorf? So this is the special train that they're standing in front of in first picture, top left. And so Harry and Meghan just sort of christened the train. And if you notice, I'm doing my photos I'm trying to be a little creative with my photos. It's like, oh, let's try it this way. But that is Prince Harry, top right, I guess, in the controls of the train as they christen the train. And also on their Twitter account, you'll see a little bit bigger picture of the train there. So that's very exciting. And that's the staff, the train staff, and also I guess the Invictus staff that are all there as part of this. And it says, to celebrate the 1-year mark of the Invictus Games, there was something very special. Prince Harry and Meghan Duke and Duchess of Sussex were visiting Düsseldorf and insisted on inaugurating the special train from Die Rheinbahn. So yeah, so they insisted, no, we want to inaugurate this train. We want to christen this train. And it says Rheinbahn will support IG23 as a mobility partner and bring spectators and competitors, as it said on Instagram, and friends and family to their destination. So this train is going to be bringing all, I guess this is going to be the special train for the week of the Invictus Games, and that is so cool. And it's CO2 neutral, and it's like, oh, sustainable and CO2 neutral. So very environmentally friendly, and it's just wonderful that I'm telling you, Dusseldorf is so excited that they have dedicated a special train for this. And I am just, again, with Invictus, these people are on point. All of those who really just put these games together. I mean, we saw what they did in when they were at The Hague, how many corporations and companies that really just came together and were part of the games. And it's just like, this blew my mind that they have Dusseldorf's, they're just dedicating a whole train to do that. And I was like, wow, this is a big deal. And it's, and I know it's a big deal, but I'm always amazed when I see this. So it just is really, really awesome to see that the city of Düsseldorf, that they are just so excited and they are just going out of their way to make the games amazing. So what a relief. And I would think too for the fam that they don't have to try to figure their way to the, wherever they're staying to the games, but that they, they have that dedicated train to do that. So I really, I really, really love that. Yeah, I do too. Church Nelly's like, I love the new pictures of Harry and Meghan. I do as well. They're really, really, really cool. I mean, look at them. I love this. Yeah, they came in black and white. That's how they posted them on Instagram. So I love Harry at the controls. Like, okay, let's play with moving this train. And then they're meeting the different people that are a part, I guess, of the ceremony. So I absolutely love it as well. So yeah. Let's see. Stay in the chat for a bit. I'm just gonna put this over here. There we go. Amma said they haven't dealt with their own mental deficit, so they are bitter. That's the thing. A lot of them need to deal with their own mess, and in the royal family, they always keep saying that. Oh, the crown need to go to Prince William right now. He is so, he's so together. He's so strong. I was like, Prince William is a person who has never dealt with his mess. He has not dealt with it, and so yeah. And so for them, that means they're strong. That means that they're, and I'm like, no, he hasn't dealt with it. That's why he's always incandescent with rage. So yeah. Leslie Millsap said, lovely pictures. I love the black and white pics. Oh, okay, so let's keep it under black and white pics. Everybody loved those. Yes, they are beautiful pictures. Yes, I love them as well. So let's keep it there. Let's see. Scrolling up for a few more before we end. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. All 381 of my favorite people are here. I think there were more a bit ago, but they may have other things to do with their day, so that's fine. Let's see. Leslie says, I know Kate needs to stop wearing what Meghan does. It does look good on her. I mean, I'm assuming you mean it doesn't look good on her. I know there's always single white femaling, but imitation, greatest form of flattery, I guess. Imitation. What they need to imitate is the hard work. That is the part that they're not imitating, that they need to be imitating. Victoria February says, Fred and Gladys don't deserve the throne and their title after what happened. And Fred, even the head of the church, I always laugh about that, head of the church in the UK. What the hell, WTH? It's just unfair in my opinion. Yeah, it is very unfair. It is very unfair, and it's very ridiculous that they are the head of the church. It's just like, Lord have mercy. You need to look at that church. Diana Shekel says the royal family is a business first, then family. Fergie had her fair share of abuse from the press and did whatever to survive after the divorce. Yeah, I mean, first she's still doing whatever she needs to survive. And the thing about it is that you see it with Fergie and you see it with Andrew, is that they have not figured out how to make it without the royal family. They always have to be there. It's like they would not, it's, yeah, I mean, with Andrew the same, it's like he has not figured out how to, like, there could be life outside the family. And there, so I mean, you saw the same thing with Princess Margaret until she basically drank herself to death. And whether it's, I don't know if she was into drugs too. I know she was definitely an alcoholic, and she basically abused herself to death, and they hadn't figured out how to leave. And I think that's why they're so angry at Harry, because Harry refused to go down that path. And they need them to go down that path so that years and years and years reporters would have those stories to focus on and not focus on what the current ones are doing. So yeah, it's really, really sick. Really, really, really sick. So yeah. Let's see. Lydia says, Amen, church. Prayers up for all the suffering in the squad. Okay. There was a lot of stuff going on, I'm assuming. I don't know if there's something specific. I know, yeah, there are illnesses, and some couple of people I think had accidents and stuff like that. So definitely we need to be praying for each other and comforting each other. So yeah, because these are rough times. And again, tomorrow is voting day, so definitely get out there and vote. So yeah. But anyways, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. So let's see. Do I have anything else? Oh, just one more thing. Let's see, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia, for your comment. I love it when people quote Meghan, and this is me trying to be a little fancy with my clipping here. has that space where it's like, take off kind of thing here. It says, it quoted Meghan, women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice and they need to feel free, to feel empowered to use it. Meghan Markle, via wise life lessons. And so I just love when, people just out of the blue just use Meghan's quotes and to inspire and encourage others. So I absolutely love that. But anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, for the last hour and something, 48 minutes. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Trish, Nelly, Karen M, Julia Rock, who I didn't think I saw Julia, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And thank you for, keeping our space absolutely amazing and safe and fun. And so I appreciate that. Thank you also to our awesome 2 Cents crew. I'm going to take my banner away. Who support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for our Gold Star supporters who also support us, whether it's super thanks, super chat, super stickers, PayPal, Cash App, merchandise, however it is you support us. Thank you all so much for your support. I will chat with you hopefully tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow again. Tomorrow is Archetypes Tuesday. So please listen to it. And then tomorrow we can have a call-in. I would really love a call-in to hear what to hear your voices and what you thought of the show. So how about we do a call-in tomorrow, and we can chat about Archetypes Tuesday, whatever the topic Meghan decides the topic is going to be tomorrow. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And I guess we're just gonna end this all with some music from Patricios. And I will chat with you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Bye.